Hey there. I just wanted to bring you a couple more updates from the KeyForge Game Found. This is Andrew. Hey. Anyway, a couple of quick updates and some cool stuff from the community. So they posted, I think, two updates since I last posted a video. The first one is just kind of rah rah rah, which is great. There have been some more spoilers released and cool channels releasing them and talking about stuff. So the two extra decks per backer stretch goals have been reached. So one is the one with the special graphical treatment, and then the other one is in this second update, in this latest update number 6 actually, we unlocked the Unchained Deck. And I explained that in my last news video, but it's a deck that will have a lot of constraints lifted or relaxed. So and it could just be crazy good or crazy bad. Should be a much higher count of Legacy and Maverick cards, and it'll just be crazy, but it won't be legal for normal tournaments. But I'm really excited about that. They did give some clarification. Those extra benefits, the deck with the border and the Unchained deck, are one per backer. It's not one per pledge. So you cannot get an extra one of those by adding an extra pledge. You would actually have to create a separate GameFound account and back through that to get a second copy of one of those. It's kind of a bummer because it means if you do it that way, you have to pay extra. Friend was asking about the ethical implications there. For me, I have two kids, one who plays really actively. Definitely gonna order like an extra Seeker of Decks in her name just to get her an Unchained deck because I don't want to only have one between the two of us. And the graphical, the extra graphical thing will just be a bonus. And she's getting decks. I don't know how many, but she's getting some. And so, but she's definitely getting an Unchained one, and might get one for my other daughter as well. And yeah, it just makes sense. Um, Getting those higher tiers so you can get the personalized decks is super cool. But yeah, other than that, it actually makes, well, I'll show you the numbers, but it makes sense to do that Seeker of Decks level. Um, okay, a couple other things. So there's a new stretch goal that has been announced. Do they show it here? I'll show you in a second. They talk about being excited for Brobnar, which I am, and Brocken, which maybe suggests there could be suggests maybe we'll get like Drummer Knot back. That would make me very happy to get Drummer Knot and maybe Ganger Chieftain. That's a great combo and not totally broken. It's not like a bad combo. It's just great. So I would love to see that combo back in the set. At least Drummer Knot and Bramo or something like that. But I think Ganger Knot deserves to be back. There's a poll about which house people are most looking forward to. You can see my answer was Brobnar. A lot of people said Equidon. I totally get that. A lot of people said Mars. More people said Mars than Brobnar. I guess that makes sense to me too. Um, I think Christian Peterson said in an interview that Mars is his favorite, or at least that he's excited to see it back. So, but he said he has several favorites. Um, anyway, so but the Bracken, whatever it is, reference here suggests, yeah, maybe getting some cool stuff back. Okay, and then also the next stretch goals announced, which we're pretty close to getting to actually, is that if we get to $450,000 pledged, then the key thing here actually is anomalies. That they'll put anomalies in Winds of Exchange decks, and that's pretty exciting. I suspect they really have been hoping to be able to do this, and it's a level that we definitely can get, but that's really exciting. And but additionally, there will be everybody, all backers would get 3 preview cards from a pool. Obviously, they'd be sending out more cards than there are cards in the set, but only 3 per person, so there'd be a lot of overlap. Um, for a content creator, that's super cool, but for anybody, I think that's really cool to get preview cards from the next set. And then they would be putting one of those in at only 250 copies, so it would be not a lot of people would get that, and one at 5 copies, so that would be very rare. And if they're not previewing that some other way, then that means there's only 5 people um, who get that card to preview, which that'd be crazy cool. And those ones will be signed, the 5 and the 250. But that's all really cool, and having anomalies is crazy cool. I'm really excited about that. I don't know how many they'll have, but and for those who may not know, anomalies were a deck building, deck construction mechanic that showed up only in set 3 Worlds Collide, where there were 10 cards that were in development in previous sets that could show up in a Worlds Collide deck, but they were super rare, very, very rare, and they were equally likely to show up in any house. And one of them, like Orb of Wonder, was from Sanctum, which was not in that set, but was a house we already knew about. The other one that we've had actually be released is wow, Balocanth, who is a creature that was part of Unfathomable, showed up in Dark Tidings. So that was a house we didn't know about yet. One of them was Grim Reaper, which, if you look at the art, really looks similar to this art that they're showing here. That in this reference to set 8, Christian Peterson mentioned I saw it in a on Marco, I'm probably butchering the name, Proietta's channel, which is Italian, but anyway, Christian was speaking English, and anyway, he mentioned there's a new house coming in set 7 that is not one we know about yet. That because there's 2 that are mentioned in the Secrets of the Crucible book, and he confirmed it's not either of those. This really suggests it's the house that Grim Reaper is from, some sort of like ghost robots thing. So that's really cool. I'm excited about that. That's all that. Okay, I just want to show you really quick another thing. So in the KeyForge Facebook group, Dominic Pham shared a Google sheet that he created that helps you calculate costs for pledges. I copied it and added a column to it to get the per deck price in the end. So this is assuming that you don't have the early follower deck, which I think actually is going to be Winds of Exchange. Anyway, so this is looking at the pledge plus ship price, which is, for example, for Novice of the Crucible, is $50 for the pledge, $12 for shipping. So, and then the number of decks you get, which all this stuff was put in by Dominic. I did not do this part. All I added was this column here, which divides the pledge plus ship cost by the number of decks that you get. So this is your end cost per deck. And if you did not have the early follower deck, you can see the best deal you can get is that Turner of Keys level, that $750 level. But short of that, the best deal you can get is actually Seeker of Decks. You're actually paying less per deck there than you would in Breaker of Chains. And if you include that early follower deck, it's even more in favor of Seeker of Decks. that is actually better than Turner of Keys in terms of per deck cost. Although that is maybe not the right way to think about it, because if you're considering like creating new accounts to order, you're not going to be ordering um, at the Turner of Keys level. So if you were going to do Turner, if you were going to spend $5,000 on KeyForge decks, I'm not. If you were going to spend $5,000 on KeyForge decks, your best price per deck is going to come from is going to be from getting a bunch of Turner of Keys. And if you're doing that, you probably ought to create multiple accounts. For the sake of the benefit, you should probably create multiple accounts and order one pledge per account so that you get the Unchained and special border decks as well. You just wouldn't be getting the early follower deck for those newly created accounts. But I say all that, I really I like I said, I'll probably just throw on an extra Seeker of Decks in a separate account to get an Unchained deck for my daughter. So anyway, that is all the news that I know about. There are some great spoilers. You can check out the spoilers page on Archon Arcana if you want to see those. If you don't want to see those, more power to you. There's a lot of great stuff going around, so I hope that you enjoy some of that and that you get out and forge some keys.